Hi, hello everyone. This is Prasad. Uh, Today we're going to discuss about how to deploy a Spring Boot application into Azure Kubernetes Service using Azure Container Registry. So basically, I have created one project which is called Azure with Cosmos, and I named it as Azure Cosmos. When I say Azure with Cosmos, and my Spring Boot application is going to connect the Azure Cosmos DB account from Spring Boot application, and so I'll be creating a Docker image out of it. Then I'll be pushing that Docker image to Azure Container Registry. From there again, then what I will do in order to deploy that Azure Kubernetes services, so I'll be running few commands from my local machine so that it will be pushing from Azure Container Registry to Azure Kubernetes Service cluster. So this is what the whole process in that I just have a project, and for that, in order to you accomplish, in order to you know done the job, I used a few plugins in my POM file, and as well as I installed Azure CLI in my command, no, sorry, in my local system. So you can check the Microsoft documentations. How would can we do it if you want to, you know, install Azure CLI. So for that, I just defined few prerequisites. I would say one is like you should have one Azure Active subscription. Then after, you need to create Azure Content Registry. So I'll be showing it step by step how we can create content registry, and then after, in order to have a Cosmos DB, you need to create the Azure Cosmos DB account. And yes, yeah, our main goal is like we need to deploy our image into AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service in Kubernetes cluster our image. So we need to create AKS as a Kubernetes service. That's what the main things. And as you told, that we need to install Azure CLI in our local machine. These are the prerequisites. Let's begin with the prerequisites. So I have a Azure account by my name, and I'm just currently using pay as you go subscription. So these are all my resources which I currently dealing with. So if you want to create, there are two ways. Either you can go from create a resource, or you can go from create an all resource and create it. You can create it from here. So to first and foremost, like if we go to the prerequisites now again, the thing is like we have to create Azure Container Registry. So Azure came up with a beautiful, you know, uh, services, I would say. Like earlier, we used to install Docker in our local, and we have to deal with the Docker in our local. We have to do that, and then we need to push it into, push it into uh, to the Docker Hub, and from there you need to build, run all the stuff. But when this comes to the Azure uh, Docker, we have to create a container registry where you hold all your images in the container registry, so that you can type it like container registry. Okay, so click on create. Then you see my subscription is pay as you go, and you can pick it up wherever resource group it is existed already for you. In my case, I have my cube resource group that I created. If you don't have any resource group, you can create it from here. Then you can name it your container. I would say container one, that will be something, you know. Let's see what is okay, what is available. So the location is East US. The reason I selected is though I'm in Central India. So if I select Central India. You can see all these availability zones. Okay, and likewise you can select for any whatever location is near to you. So in my case, I will be selecting Central India. It is very near to me because I'm staying in India. So thereafter, click on next, comes back, and hope everything is done here. Networking. Okay, encryption. This tags will be create. Let's take this validation. So validation sections. So then click and create. I'm not going to click on create because I already have my container registry. So I'll be taking to there. This is my container registry. So there you see everything, the info, what is your login server, and subscription ID, under which subscription created, and now, and the two things you need to get from your registry. One thing from access keys. From this access key, you need to get the user ID password. So you will be having user ID passwords here. All these user IDs passwords will be having here. Then after that you will be frequently pushing the images into registry. So you can find the images under repository sections. Currently I have two images which I pushed from a local machine to container registry. So I will tell you that how we can push these images into container registry. So this is about content registry, how we can create and how we can push it to the repositories. And for accessing, we're gonna use these access keys from our local system. So I will tell you where we can configure those access keys. Then it is I already told you that my SpringBoot application is going to connect Azure Cosmos DB account. So we are going to create Azure Cosmos DB again. Uh, Come here, and as you know, you create from here. So I'll go with here. So just type Cosmos DB, Azure Cosmos DB account. So click and create. So in Azure Cosmos DB service, it's going to support a core SQL type of DB, and it is support it up Azure Table. It supports Graph, it supports Cassandra, and it supports what MongoDB. So I'll be very interesting that to use this MongoDB. So my application, whenever my application was no SQL type of DB, so I'll go with the MongoDB here. So I'll click on create. So you can, as usual, you can select any kind of a resource group. So I'll go with the resource group and give your Azure Cosmos DB. So let's see whether it is available or not. I don't know. Yeah. So let's create Central India. Near to me. So you can apply free tide discount. So when you say discounts, it's you will be getting the first 1,000 units per second. So something they will be giving, and they will be charging something. And it's global descriptions. So geo redundancy, multi-region rights. See, this is all about your Cosmos DBs. So when it's a geo redundancy, so when it is failed or something backup you want something, so you can have your, it will give you some geo redundancy. There are a lot of distribution, I would say. So whenever one down, the another one will be available for you. The networking. So basically, if you select private, only the private ways whoever allowed, and they will be connecting. If you say public, so for now I'll be keeping all networks. So backup policy. So This all about like if you have a geo in the backup, local written in the backup storage. So backup interval, how many after how many years, backup retention after how many hours interval is supposed to happen. Okay, this is something. And encryption, if you want encryption, service managed key. That means that Azure is going to create a managed key. And if you do customer managed key, so then you need to create a key for your own. Then you have to enter here the key wallet URL will be generated. Well, that is a different story again. So tags and review and create. So yeah, obviously it will fail because I've selected this because I have to give the key value. For now, I'm not giving any key because based on the key, this Cosmos DB going to be encrypted. So I'll be selecting service managed key, tags, review, create. Of course, my validation is in progress. So all the success. So you can create it. For now, I'm not going to create now because I already have a Azure Cosmos DB. Currently, I have that. So I will take you to the Cosmos DB here. This is my Azure Cosmos DB, right? So I upload the free trial. So the main thing you want to focus on here is like two things. One is URI, which you're gonna configure at SpringBoot application property level. This URI you have to focus, and then other one is like your keys, right? So you have to use URI primary key, secondary key, and if you want to connect through the connection string like derivc template or something, you're gonna use this. So I'm as Spring Boot provides application property read, I'm gonna use Cosmos repository. So I'll be taking URI and the primary key from here. So these two are very important for you to configure your Cosmos DB in a Spring Boot application. Okay, so let's put it here. One second, please. Okay, so this is about Cosmos DB. Then let me go to the GitHub repository. It is saying create AKS service and Kubernetes cluster. So okay, let me go to here, Kubernetes service, right? So click on create. So this is all about your. This is quite interesting. I don't have any availability zones under central India, so I'll be picking up East US here just for you know. Then resource group, Kubernetes resource group, cluster name MyKCTL something. Let's see if the name is available. Yeah, it is available. And this is of course standard. So for the demo, I don't want to use a more disk space, so that's all. And so let's come back and you can see. So my Kubernetes version is, so you can change your version here and next. So cluster is OS type should be supposed to be Linux only always because this is Kubernetes. So then you see authentication method, system assign manage. So all this, and make sure that you have a provided enability for the RBAC, role-based access control. Then if you want to encrypt anything but with the managed key, you can do that. And networking, so if you want to change the DNS name, you can change it here also. This is DNS name prefix. Then integration. So when you create a Kubernetes service, you need to make sure that you have to point into the container registry so that whenever you know it will be easy for you. So whenever you push it to the container registry, then when you start Kubernetes deployment and something, it's gonna deploy from this container registry. In my case, I already created container registry my app register 1000, so I'll be pointing here. So I'll tell you the usage when I'm going further. So make sure that this is very important when you create your Kubernetes cluster, that is under the integrations you're pointing to your content registry. Okay, so container monitoring, if you want to enable, so log analytics workspace will be going to create at the part of your Kubernetes cluster. So I would recommend you to keep it enabled, so you will be seeing any issues or any errors under this log analytics workspace. Uh, yeah, that's all the very important points here. Create tag, that's okay. Maybe we'll create, yeah, first I should list some basics points. So the maximum node count, select 2. Okay, let's do this next authentication, next network tags, review, and then final validation. So, okay, now validation is success. I'm not going to create a Kubernetes service here because I already have it. So this is my Kubernetes cluster, and here um, what you need to mind is, like, one thing is API service address for you, and sure, mostly that's all, on your subscription ID, and you'll be connecting this Kubernetes service by triggering kubectl commands from your local system by logging into the Azure login. I hope that you have already installed Azure CLI in your local system. Otherwise, you will be not able to trigger the kubectl commands from your local system. Okay, so these are the prerequisites, I would say. So just follow these prerequisites, and this is my GitHub repository, and it is public view, so everyone can access it. So in my description, so you can see this GitHub repository URL, so you can follow those things here. So these are both the prerequisites. When coming to the POM changes, what exactly the POM says? This POM, as it is going to connect the Cosmos DB, and it is going to deal with the repository, uh, um, you know, container registry. So you will be seeing two things. One is like Docker Maven plugin to create a Docker image and then to push it into container registry, and other different starter is like Cosmos, other SpringBoot starter Cosmos. Excuse me. So these are the two dependencies. Very important. One is Spring Boot Maven, sorry, Docker Maven plugin, and Cosmos DB dependencies. These are the two things apart from like all the basic POM dependencies. If I open the Azure with Cosmos DB, so you can see I don't have any Docker file over here. So I'm not triggering any Docker commands from my Spring Boot applications, or everything done by the this plugin, Docker Maven plugin only. I'll be triggering few Maven Docker commands, so that it is going to create a image, and it is going to push that image into my content registry. Okay, so, and let me open resources and application properties. As I told you that I'm gonna connect to Cosmos DB. Here you can see these are the properties that we're supposed to have when you are going to connect a Cosmos DB. One is Cosmos URI, Cosmos key, database, sorry, database, populate query metrics. So you will be, if you don't want to get the query metrics, you can make it false, so that your console will be very clean. If you want something metrics to be seen in your console, you have to keep this is true. So where do you get the Cosmos URI, Cosmos key, and database? So go to the Kubernetes again. So this is the Cosmos DB, and Cosmos DB at the overview section. You see Cosmos DB URL. This is Cosmos DB URL, and then for username and password, go to the keys section. There you see uh, primary key, right? Okay, hold on. Primary key. Yeah, primary key section, and yeah. So Cosmos key is you can take anything, primary key or a secondary key here. So I just picked up my primary key. Then after that, go to the Data Explorer or here. So I created one container under that new database called employee database. I have two documents over here. One is A and B. That's for the different purpose. But in this program, in this application, I'll be picking up user document as my example. So under that, I just have two documents here. So if you click on that, double click, you can see ID, first name, last name, location, and basically in Azure Cosmos DB, you will be dealing with the ID and the partition key. You make sure that when you create a new table, I would say, so make sure that you have to define your partition key and as well as your ID section. In my case, my partition key is location. So those who are very familiar with Cosmos DB, they can understand what is partition key and what is ID. So if time being, if I get a chance, I'll be explaining the Cosmos DB in the later videos. And so in my case, location is my partition key. So currently I have only two records. If you want to insert, you can click on new item, or if you want to, click on new item, you can do. And if you double click, so it will give you option called to update item. Yeah. So I'm not going to update. I'm not going to insert. So I'll keep it as is. So after that, yeah, we are talking about properties, right? So Azure Cosmos database, for example, I have an employee database here. So click on Data Explorer, you will be getting a database here. If you don't have database, create it from here, new database. Okay. So then after that, I already told you about the query metrics. If you want to populate the query metrics, you can keep it true. I'll show you that how the query metrics will come over here. Okay. So this is about the Cosmos DB and the database stuff in the things. And as usual, if you go to the applications, you'll be seeing SpringBoot application, and it is the classic one. Then if you take a controller, for now I only have a one endpoint. I would say get user detail location. So based on location, I need my details. So let's do one thing. So let me add one item. So copy this new item. So I'll make it as 3 and I'll keep it as is. Just this, and I'll save it here. Okay. Now I have a two records for the partition key location India. Okay. So just want to show the data to you. And in the model section, I have a user.java. You don't see anything apart from putting your container name. So this is what I'm talking about. So here you can create the new containers every time under the same database. Okay. I have a user container. I have a empty container. In this example, we are using user container. So this is my So you need to annotate with container and container name user. Then as I told you that Cosmos DB deals with ID and partition key. You need to annotate what is the ID and what is the partition key in your module class. Then after, if you go to the repositories, I'm only using Cosmos repository. Okay, currently I have only one abstract method called find my location in it. And on a service level, this is as usual, like I'll be annotating my report, which I'm making call to. That's all. This is all about the application. And, and again, I'm telling you can go to the description, get the source code from my GitHub repository. This is all about the application and all and the setup. Then after what we can do, let me go to the GitHub again. So let I explain you already like how to what are the things I added in form changes. So for the building, so you have to run the ambient package. So let me tell this. So I'm currently I'm in project um, workspace. So let me do ambient package. Let me pause the video. Okay, I'm back. So my ambient clean package success. Then after that, as I told you that we need to figure a few commands for Azure, you know, for Azure Kubernetes. And so what we need to do, we need to execute these commands first. So follow these commands, you can set up your Kubernetes service stuff and all pointing to the. Make sure that you already installed. And before that, if you want to trigger all those commands which I have mentioned in the README file, make sure that you already logged in. Okay. So using Azure login, you can log in. So it's gonna open the browser over here. So what is your account pickup tab? And log in into it. So I'll pause it here. Once login, I'll resume. So I'm just running after login. I'm just running the subscription with an agent set subscription where you can. So what is a subscription here is like you can get it from anywhere. So this is my subscription ID. So I'll be triggering command called account set subscription is a account set subscription ID. Now it's set up. Then again go to the maybe AKS school. So then after that, Azure AKS credentials is good. Your associate name will be cluster. In my case, I have this is my associate name will be cluster. Pointing to that. Okay. So let me go to the resource. Okay, this is my resource group. So we have to go to the Azure Kubernetes Service and try to copy the resource group. So I have refresh the script. So go get the command again. Yeah, 3 times I just given my Kubernetes, yes, the Kubernetes service name is wrong, so this time I got it correctly. So the whole details over here, like you have to copy this is a script, and this is a precursor name, right? Everything you will be having fine here. So let me see. Basically, we'll be having the workloads here. Currently, what are the workloads we have? You can see here. So already just our 2 workloads already. Um, Azure Cosmos is already there, but we'll make sure that we will be updating our image and pushing into that. And currently we have running services on these. Okay, so no problem. We can push it again. So these commands I executed it. I'll make sure that I generalize this one. Service. Yeah. Then one other one is a very important thing, like you have to push this image to content registry, right? So for that we already have our plugin over here in our pom.xml. We open the pom.xml. So in order to pushing that into proper and specific container, what you need to do is you will need to set the username, password, and your container name and everything, right? So for that, what you can do is you have to keep the settings configurations in our Maven settings for example. If you don't know where the Maven is pointing, just do Maven test version here. So you'll be getting the home Maven home. Copy it, cd, paste, and type the URL channel, cd conf. Okay, and here you can see settings production. Go to the settings production under servers. These are the servers. Under servers you have to configure uh, containers details like these, username, password, stuff funnel, everything like this. So I had given those points over here, like add the Azure containers detail in the Maven profile settings at XML file. Okay, so make sure that you have it there, these settings. Then after once we have done all these things, and let me go to our project again. Okay, so a project thing. So I got to install project. Yeah, let me copy this path. Let me go under this path. Paste it. I'm in the project now. Let me clear everything. So I already executed the Maven package. So let me follow the GitHub again. So it is saying that Maven docker build docker push the next command. So let me do the docker build and docker push. So I'll be pause. Yeah, my docker build and docker push command got success. So it is giving me an already in this one. One more key point I forgot to tell you that when you are doing this docker build and docker push, make sure that you already started your local docker engine. Okay, so I already put that in my prerequisites that we need to have a docker engine supposed to be installed. So because it is going to push it to local, then it is going to push to our repository. Okay, so that's a key point. Then let me go to my repositories over here. So I push this Azure with Cosmos into my content registry. So let me see. 11:46 p.m. It's not updated now. Snapshot version. It's p.m. energy 9:47 p.m. Just 1 minute back. Push it into content registry. Okay. So this is about Dr. Bill and Dr. Fish. Then let's go to the physical configuration. So here we have a kubectl commands. What are we need to do? This stuff and all. So kubectl create deployment Azure Cosmos and your Azure content registry name dot something like this, right? And the version of this image from your content registry. In my case, I already have those commands, so I'll be copying it and paste here. So I'm creating a deployment. Yes, Azure Cosmos DB already exists. So in my case, the deployment was already done. So let me get the kubectl ctl kubectl get the deployments. So it is already running and it is already available. So okay, so then after that you have to use kubectl create. It is already deployment is there. Then after that you need to trigger that expose command. Okay, then you can, once you expose the service, then we can do kubectl get services. You're supposed to see your Azure Cosmos DB. It is already running with external IP. Okay, so all these steps in my GitHub repository you can follow those. So this is way that we on. So once you expose and once you see these services, once you see the external IP, the updated external IP, and I'm exposed to 8080, so my port. So let me open a Postman. I'll have a tool, right? Yeah, just play it now. Okay, this is a Postman. I use my external IP and use 8080 port, and my endpoint to go to the controller and showing that this is my get user data and location. So get user data and location is India. So under that location partition key India, I have two records. Okay, 1 and 3 with the ID 1 and 3. So if you go and see under Cosmos DB account, Cosmos DB, oh sorry, Cosmos DB, and then you see there are two records, right? Okay, this is 1, this is 3, 1 and 3 under. If you want, what you can do is you can prepare a query. So let's got this one. Reset the new SQL query, execute query. So you can see under IND I have ID1, under ID3 I have IND. So once you see the Postman for I1 and 3, we do have a keys details. One is a keeper USA, then I only have one detail too. Yep, that's all from my end. This is a beautiful example. Thing is like we used a SpringBoot application which is connected to Cosmos DB. We try to create a Docker image and push it into our local Docker image from Docker engine from there, and we push it into Azure container registry. From there, we just trigger few kubectl commands from our local CLI machine, and we started our deployment, kubectl deployment, and then after that, we exposed our service to 8080 port. Then we'll be getting a load balancer external IP we used here and port 8080. Then we've got the DB details by giving our partition key details. That's all command. If you have any other simplest way to connect with Azure Kubernetes Service, just give me a comment in the comment section. So it will be learning from my end also. Again, I'll be learning the new things from you guys. So if you feel this is the best way that we can connect and deploy our SpringBoot application, give me a like, okay? And I'll be giving my, repository for source code in the descriptions below. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe if it is possible. So it will be motivate me a lot, and then I will be trying to give you the more technical technology videos. If you want anything from me that you wanted to get me a demo from me, so give me comments. So I'll try my best to give you the demo videos again. Thank you. Thanks a lot.